It's 7:40. Let's do this. Good evening, Hampton Roads. Good evening, Northeast North Carolina. My name is David Aldrich, Chief Meteorologist of WTKR News 3 Television, and you are watching First Warning Live, where we're going to be talking about all things weather. We're going to talk about the Northern Lights. Did you say Northern Lights? I did. I kind of let that one out of the bag, but we'll talk about that. And we're going to be talking about some free pizza because this is the live stream. Normally it's on a Thursday, but in an unusual sense, we're doing it tonight. It's like having a pizza weather party. You're all invited. And we're going to announce some names. We're going to, in fact, give away 10 individual pizzas, plus somebody's going to win pizza for a year. And we're going to do that. That's about 22 pizzas in all, just on this live stream. So stay with me. That's where we're going to be. Where are we now? Well, it's dry for now across the neighborhoods, but what do I expect this weekend? That might be a question. That might be scratching your head. I know it's Wednesday. It's never too early to talk about the weekend, but you can see from this map that there may be some sprinkles, showers in eastern Kentucky by 11 o'clock on Friday night, but really it's not until this warm front that comes down from the Ohio Valley 7 a.m. on Saturday, and it begins to slide in, and that's going to keep us on the cool side of the ledger on Saturday. I mean, I expect temperatures on Saturday to be a little bit cool. I mean, they're going to be generally in the low 60s. But what happens when it actually gets warmer and that front passes by? That might be what you're asking. So I think with a fair high confidence now that we're going to see a windy day on Sunday, and this represents 6:30, but most of the rain is where? It's in the mid-Atlantic, it's in Delaware, it's New Jersey, Long Island. Not a whole lot here. And much like tonight, where most of the rain and snow is up toward New England, we're just not going to have a lot of moisture on your Sunday. This is 1 o'clock? This is 1 o'clock on Sunday, and there's very limited amount of rain here, but it will be windy and it will be warm, and it's going to be coming up from the south and west. Does that help? I hope it does, because the rain chances for the next 3 days look pretty flat. Nothing to see here. 20% chance on Sunday, and that might be generous, and nothing on Monday. I hope that helps. I just want to do my best to do my part to get all that out of the way. Now, I know what some of you are like, please talk about the Northern Lights, please. All right, we get to that. Let's get to that. This was last night. Now, in Windsor, Virginia, if I have this right, the heart of Isle of Wight County, Windsor, Virginia, we had a friend named Colin Woodyard. He basically captured this picture, posted it on the WTKR Facebook page, and this is what it looks like. So if you've never seen them, maybe sometimes they're available, they're visible with the naked eye, but sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're not, and we could talk about that here. This is where typically between tonight, 7 and 11, which it is now, it's 7:42 right now. The being able to see it right over your head would be Chicago, Minneapolis, and Seattle, maybe in Boston. But is that possibility here for us? And I would say yes, it is, but it may not be as dramatic as it was last night. Last night was like a flash in the pan. But sometimes the aurora borealis, can have some. You could think of it like sometimes it's finicky. You know, it's like a cat. You call your cat. Sometimes the cat comes to you. We have a cat. Sometimes the cat doesn't. If it's not in the right frame of mind, it won't come. You know what I'm talking about? So I just want to emphasize that we have the potential. There have been some reports in Minnesota. Our own meteorologist, Tony Nargi, has been watching that because he's got a lot of followers from Minnesota. That's where he worked last in Duluth. But for us, we had quite a show last night. And I do know, if I show you some of these pictures, this is from Mary. This is actually, it looks so much better, full screen. This is the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel, Northern Lights, at 11:40 last night. But you said 7 to 11 tonight. I know, but they rarely show up at the exact same time. It's just luck of the draw. But this was 11:40. I point that out because it's consistent with other pictures. Mary took a great bunch of this. As you see the green, you can see the red, and sometimes it's best seen through the lens of a smartphone. So if you have an iPhone, put it in the night mode, put it in your Android, and you might be able to see it better in some cases if it's a weaker, it's what's called the coronal mass ejection, the CME. And when you have the polarity going into negative, you typically see something like this, where right now it's kind of like just hovering weakly around negative. If it goes positive, it's a bust. So really with these northern lights, the aurora borealis. You can get it when you get it, and when you don't, you don't. Sometimes you can scratch your head, but they can be finicky. This is from Mount Trashmore from Christopher Eric Adams. This was 11:45 last night. The previous one was 11:40. So really, it really depends on the timing can be different, and we can fully expect that. Virginia Beach Northern Lights from Amrush captured this at 11:40 last night. So very comparable times when there was a big surge on social media for the Northern Lights. If you're on the call, I will stop here for just a moment to let you know I'm going to be giving away the free pizza, at least the announcements of the free pizza, at the top of the hour, which is at 8 o'clock. Right now it's 7:44. But if you haven't won before, I want to give you something that you, whether you win and have your name announced or not, you can get a $5 Pozzoli tonight. Typically it's twice the price, like $9.95 or something like that. If you use the promo code WTKR, that's our TV call letters, and then my first name, they'll suddenly drop it to $5. And I've had, 2 nights ago, I had pepperoni and buffalo chicken. It was delicious. Of course, I could save it for later, but one of the nice things is you get these dipping sauces. And if you want maybe ranch, garlic, or maybe the pizza cup, the marinara, it's also available to you. So that's what the Pozzoli looks a little closer up. If you haven't had one, it's one of the great things I love. It's one of the first things I really loved about Marco's is that not everybody had a Pozzoli. Everybody had the pizza, but you might really find that appetizing. But what's really cool is if you win, and if you are the winner, you're going to get one large, one topping pizza monthly for the next year for free. So like a punch card, we could punch out in November whenever you decide to redeem it this month. Then you'll get one in December, and you'll get one right through October of 2026. So you'll get 12 pizzas, and your name will be in the upper left corner if your name, in fact, is drawn from our randomized list. So that's why I just want to highlight that. And there are 6 locations that you can participate, but you do have to register. If you don't win tonight, you can win next week. But next week, we'll do it on Thursday, WTKR/Marcos. That's our webpage. We'd love to have you participate, but we'll do all this at the top of the hour. Got some comments here. This came from Paul about 23 hours ago. I found it was a pretty cool comment, but I didn't see it in time for the live element of the stream. He says, I've never ever seen snow this early in the season. It's crazy. Yes, we tried to put it in perspective, at least I did, that this was the biggest snow in November since 1987. So that is more than a generation's worth of time has passed. So I'm not sure how old Paul is, but he's probably accurate if he was born after 1987, or if he was a toddler at 1987, he wouldn't remember it. But it was 0.3, I believe, on Veterans Day 1987. This Veterans Day was 0.2 inches of snow. So it wasn't a lot, but it was enough to say, hey, we measured it, and it's now in the books. It's in the record books for that. Some other notes, just want to say hi to you. I got some love. I want to give right back to Katrina. She's giving me a little heart there. I believe that was from last night. Thank you, Katrina. She also is on our WTKR photographers group. And I got a note from Christy. I believe she's from Virginia Beach. She's saying thanks for the shout out last night. My pleasure, Christy. And this is how easy it is. If you want to participate in this conversation, that's what I'm trying to do, is have a conversation. You can just put your thoughts in the comments and it'll show up on my screen. And if I have time, I'll put it on the screen and magnify your voice in real time, as close as real time can be. Now, I am going to check in here, and you can see the Virginia Beach Northern Lights from 1140. Here's the map as it stands right now. And there is kind of, I guess, a similarity in that we have an approaching front, but there's no moisture. What we're going to get out of this front is some clouds in the morning. But most of the rain and even snow appears to be in upstate New York, parts of Pennsylvania, and into maybe the Adirondacks. They've got, it looks a little snow up there as well, where it's much, much colder. But for us, this front's only going to bring us a few clouds, which means it's not a cloudy start to the morning, but it maybe some early clouds will finally fade away, I think probably by 9 or 10 o'clock, and it'll be all settled. So we'll have a mostly sunny finish tomorrow, is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so we look at these comments that might be coming in now. Let's see here. Come on, Jones has a very fair question. I'm going to bring him back on the screen. Wants to know, will we see the Northern Lights again this evening? It's possible. 7 to 11, the window is there. It's not like forecasting snow, like I did very, very astutely a couple days ago. you're trying to track the timing and the polarity of a coronal mass ejection, the CME as they're called. So when you get these little big bursts, it's like the sun belches or has a hiccup, and suddenly the Earth responds to it, and we can get some pretty good light shows. But sometimes it's your iPhone or your Android camera that will pick it up in some cases when it's not that strong. If it's really strong, you can do it with your naked eye, but as last I checked, it is not going to be as strong tonight as it was last night. So it's not saying you couldn't go out there tonight and catch it, but you got to get away from city lights, and you got to get away from light pollution, as it were. All right, so I'm going to keep going. It's now 7:49. 7:49, so we'll give away pizza here in about 11 minutes. I can cover a lot of weather in 11 minutes, but I'm looking here at this front here, and it's basically going to continue to keep us a little warmer on this side of the playing field as compared to yesterday morning, or this morning, really. Last night to this morning, we fell into the upper 30s. Tonight, we'll be dropping into the mid-40s. So upper 30s versus mid-40s, a little better. It's a dry stretch, several days with sunshine. Here are my headlines. Northern Lights, chance, yes. The aurora may be visible tonight, but it's not an equal opportunity guarantee. As I said, it's taken me, I've been in this business now 25 years studying weather. I graduated from NC State in 1999, and I only got to see the Northern Lights for the first time in Knoxville in May of 2024. I had eagerly wanted to see them, and it was funny because it was about a month after I got to see the total solar eclipse in April in Ohio, because I drove up to see that. So to have the total solar eclipse in April of 2024, to have the Northern Lights seen in Knoxville in May of 2024, I was like, this is awesome. Everything's like, I'm getting to see everything. It's like getting the Grand Slam and the home run and then another Grand Slam. So if you get to see it, great, but I've had many years where I thought I was going to see it and I didn't get it. So that's why I say it can be finicky. Long story made short. All right, weekend outlook. We've already covered a slim rain chance. I'm looking at this solar wind right now on the Space Weather Prediction Center site, and it does look like it's a little more negative now. It's updated about every 5 minutes, according to Tony Nargi. He's got a lot of space weather geeks and weather nerds. You know, it's kind of like we congregate. We look out after each other. I want to give him recognition because having lived in Duluth, I worked in Rochester, New York for 4 years. I was hoping to see them up there. I didn't get that lucky, and some have seen water spouts here. They get water spouts on Lake Ontario on occasion, but it's like a unicorn, right? If you see it, it's like, wow, I saw it, and you kind of like check the box. I got to see it, but I wanted to show you those pictures at the top for the very reason that in case you don't see it, you kind of know what maybe it might look like. It's not the same, I know, but dry stretch for the next couple of days. Now, here's where we were this morning. We got down to 38 in Norfolk. It was 34 in Chesapeake, to be fair. It was freezing in Jackson in Northampton County, North Carolina, and it was 40 in Melfa and Williamsburg. So that was our starting point. Now we can shake off the winter chill, because today we got up to 62 degrees. Now, let me go back a second, because you know I'm a note taker. Some of you know I'm a note taker. Let me go back one slide. Let's go back to this one. And one of the things I could tell you, we hit 38 at 7:25 this morning. So where were you at 7:25? Oh, I was pumping gas. It was brutal. Well, maybe it would be, right? You throw in some wind. 36 Franklin, 7:25 is according to the airport records. And we hit 62, we'll move this map to the next one, 62 in Norfolk at precisely 2:58, 2 minutes before 3 o'clock. I point this out because I think some of us, if you really were honest with yourself, would say, I'm still getting adjusted to this time change that we did a couple of weekends ago, right? Or maybe are just it's getting dark too soon, not used to that per se. But yeah, the high temperature now about 2:58 today, and this low temperature is coming in around 7:25. That was just a case study here. Now 62 degrees, as you can see here. A record high is 80 from 2003. We were nowhere near that, but 62, it was about 1 degree below average. Just one degree, but that's all it takes. We've now had 4 above and 8 below. And I think there's a good chance, even though we had a 61 here, we know that the daytime high was 54. So think about this. The 61 that we had on Monday came at 12:14 in the morning. 12:14 in the morning isn't really indicative of how we had to dress. We had to dress for the 40s and low to mid 50s. But this was by far and away the coldest day. And Tuesday morning, we know we had some snow. And in some cases, there was a lot of snow. Not everybody had some, but we'll see what happens. I see here. Who do we got here? Marilyn Bell has a comment. She is on here. She's watching from East Tennessee. Says it was a beautiful day here in East Tennessee, but very windy. So we're going to get some of that wind, Maryland, I think on Sunday. It was gusting to 35 today in Norfolk. I expect it'll be closer to 25 tomorrow. 35 today, gusting to 25 tomorrow. And then by the time we get to Sunday, we could have sustained winds 15 to 25, maybe even 15 to 30. It's going to be a strong, brisk wind, but at least it's a warm wind on Sunday. Sunday, of course, the warmest day of the next 7. Now, as far as the highs you can see there, look at the temperature change. Right now, it is 7:54. And there's no way that you would think that it must be summer when you see plus 15 or plus 10. No, it's just we've come out of the doldrums. We've come out of the cold snap, and now we're turning a new page and a new chapter begins. Our current temperatures are not cooling all that rapidly. I mean, it is 55 in Portsmouth. It's 53 in Hertford, it's 55 in Edenton, and 53 in Gloucester and Cape Charles. Low temperatures tonight will get cool. I don't mean to suggest it won't, but it's not going to be as cold as it was this morning, because I already highlighted the 30s. Here we're in the low to mid 40s, about 45 Virginia Beach and Norfolk, about 42 for Moyock, Corolla, about 48, and Nags Head closer to 50. Morning low temperatures for the next 5 days will actually be pretty much on par tomorrow, because the normal low is 45, but the coldest one would be Friday, and I think we'll only be there briefly, because a mostly sunny day will be setting up, but really we start to warm up on Sunday, when the morning low is generally pretty close to 53 degrees. Taking a look at the cameras here, we're about 5 minutes away from pizza. If you have a question, a comment, a concern, I'll do my best to stop here, pause here, and ask, what would you like to hear about? I see Kim Thompson-Jones is on here, I think. She's saying great pictures. I think they were great pictures, Kim, and what's nice is that you may actually get a better outcome by looking at, like I did in May of 2024 in Knoxville. I had my iPhone and I was sitting there taking pictures, and I could get more color in the night mode version of my iPhone than with my naked eye, because by the time I got down to Tennessee, it wasn't maybe as strong as it would have been maybe up in, say, Minnesota. So it really depends, but have that. I mean, if you're looking at a clear sky and you're looking away from city lights, you might have a chance tonight. As I'm looking at the polarity, it continues to drop. So this is good. So think of it like when it's negative, you have a good chance of seeing it. When it's positive, you don't. It's not as negative as it was, and I'm on the Space Weather Prediction Center site right now. It's not as low as it was yesterday evening when we had those great pictures, but it might be worth the effort to just go out. Doesn't look like much when you're in the city lights, but when you get out, maybe head out to the Chesapeake, around maybe Chicks Beach, maybe overlooking maybe the Chesapeake Bay Bridge Tunnel. You could see some really great pictures as we saw. Maybe just Virginia Beach or on the ocean front would be an awesome opportunity tonight. No guarantees, but again, it's one of those things that if you get it, it's a real bonus. All right, so it is now 7:56. I'm going to keep moving. I just want to cover this question. We'll do the question, and then we'll go straight to the pizza. How's that? How many of you are watching live, and how many of you feel like you've got a mastery of weather trivia? Some of you are doing really well. I mean, I have to hand it to you. Again, another great question coming by way of meteorologist Tony Nargi, who was on at noon today on the TV side. What is the location of the world's highest weather station? Is it Switzerland? A. Is it United States? B. Or is it Nepal? C. Here's your chance. I'd love to know what you think. Put in your voice, and I'll get the voice up here as quickly as I can. Oh, I got a Taj note. I think he's going for C. C. Taj, I have to congratulate you, my friend. You are quick on the answer, and you are absolutely right. Ding, 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 ding. Look at that. It is actually Mount Everest. It's the Bishop Rock Weather Station on Mount Everest, which is roughly just shy of 29,000 feet. I mean, for those of you that might be listening or watching from our friends in East Tennessee, you're looking at what was Klingman's Dome is now Kuwohi, which is the Cherokee name for the mountain there. The highest peak in Tennessee, I believe, is that, and it's about 6,600. 6,600 feet above sea level. This is 28,904 feet above sea level. Of course, it's Mount Everest. So you were very, very astute. I give you props to that, and thank you for playing along. I got some other notes. Marilyn guessed C too, so I give her credit too. It's a couple of correct guesses tonight. I'm very happy about that. All right, so it's time now. Let's go back to we're going to do some pizza. It is now about 7:58, and then we'll move on for the rest of the weather, which we'll cover more about the rest of the 7-day forecast. We're not done with the weather, but this is one of those rare opportunities, like a game show host, I get to give away free pizza. I want to thank my sponsor because, again, they didn't have to do this, but we're going to first do what I like to call the individual pizzas, right? So we're going to give away 10 names, and they're all getting these certificates in the mail through the U.S. Post Office. They'll be getting the mail to them, and anytime they get them, they can redeem them at these locations I've already covered. These are the 6 locations that are participating in the contest. Now, if you live in, I don't know, Suffolk, or if you live in Emporia, I'm not saying those names are on the list tonight, but if you did, you'd have to drive to one of these 6 locations. Now, that may not be convenient, but I would always urge you, if you get a piece of mail that has either WTKR and Marco's on it, don't throw it away. It's not selling you something. It's trying to give you free food, and don't throw away. Who could afford to throw away some good food in this day and age? I don't know anybody. So let's get to the winners. The first winner here, we're going to give away, is the 1 topping free pizza. This is 1 pizza, right? I didn't have room to put 1 topping, but that's what 1 topping would suggest. And the first 2 names on the list, in no particular order, would be Cecilia Zaharia of Chesapeake. Congratulations, Cecilia. You have just won a large pizza with 1 topping of your choice in Chesapeake. And of course, the Kentsville address might be more convenient for you. Elizabeth Francis also just won a free pizza. Shout out to Elizabeth and Cecilia. If you're on this call, let me know. I'll do my best to put you on the screen. I would love to know if someone's watching who actually has won, because I know a lot of people watch this either on delay or later the next day. That's possible too. Next set of winners here. Number 3 and 4 actually come from Norfolk. Number 3, Inga Gross, has just won a free Marco's pizza. Congratulations. Kira Smith, you have just won a free large Marco's pizza. Come on down. Well, that's the wrong game show. All right, but Kira Smith, congratulations to you both. Certificates, as you can see here, will be mailed, and they're probably en route to you now, so you might have it before the weekend is through. No guarantees, but I do know the sales staff does randomize or randomly select the winners that are now shown up on the screen. Number 6, Lucia Wilson of Hampton is also a big winner tonight. She gets a large Marco's pizza with any topping that she wants. How about Marville Sinat of Chesapeake, also a big winner tonight, has won a free Marco's pizza. Now, I know what some of you think, I want to win some pizza. You can win next week. You could also win that $5 Mazzoli if you just use the promo code. You don't have to win it. It is being offered to you tonight. Now we have number 7, number 8. That would be Michael Whitehurst of Newport News, our first Newport News representation tonight. Congratulations, Michael. And Parisha Sarvis of Chesapeake. Glad to have you a winner. Glad to announce you've just won a free pizza from Marco's. And lastly, number 9, number 10, in no particular order, would be Randy Scales of Virginia Beach and Stephen Bates of Newport News. There you go. 10 individual pizzas out the door in certificate form. I think that's pretty cool. And of course, the big winner we haven't even gotten to yet. But I'm going to go ahead and do that now. We can go ahead and announce the big winner. Because this is one of the things that every week, usually I do this on Thursdays, but I'm off on Thursday. I worked on Sunday, so it's all kind of maybe off its normal day, but it is still a weather pizza party, especially when you can be the winner of free pizza for a year. So let's get to this winner. Number 1, the big winner of the week is, a drum roll please. Can I get some confetti? I think I need some confetti. Alrighty, some free Marco's pizza for the year goes to a winner named Lynette Smith. Ooh, from Norfolk. You mean Lynette Smith? I know Lynette Smith. No, I don't know. But maybe do you know Lynette Smith? Can you let her know that she's just won some free pizza for a year? I think that's pretty sweet. And that means she's going to get this certificate for the year, and it's 1 large, 1 topping pizza monthly. So this is going to be one of the cool things. She's going to have her name in the upper left corner. She'll be able to use it for the month of November. Maybe she gets closer to Thanksgiving and says, you know what, I'm either tired of eating turkey or tired of making turkey, so I'm going to have some pizza. And I'll have some free pizza. And then she'll get one in December, and then punch card here into January, all the way through October. That's 12 months. So I think that's a pretty sweet deal. But I just want to say a big shout out to our friend Lynette Smith. If she's watching, let me know because I would love to say hi to you. I got a big congratulations from Taj. Taj wants to say, yeah, I love I love his creative emoji. Yes, see, I'm excited for Lynette. Now, Lynette, the only thing I would ask you to do is to share. I know that's 12 pizzas spread out over a 12-month period, but there's bound to be somebody in your life that's probably a bit hungry from time to time. So be sure you share, and I'm very glad that you won. Very cool. And I also got a big congratulations from Kim Thompson-Jones saying congratulations to the winner. So very cool. It's now 8:04. We're still on this, I'll call it Northern Lights or Aurora Borealis watch, as some of us might see some Northern Lights tonight. We had a chance to see some of it last night. Many of us saw it on social media, but some of us would like to see it ourselves again, maybe for the first time. And as I'm continuing to look at the Space Weather Prediction Center site, I do see it does look more negative than it was even an hour ago, but it may not be as negative as it was last night. So we'll see what now. And I did notice, I should put this out there too, spaceweather.com, another site, did downgrade from what was, I could say 5 levels. They had it as a severe G4. It was like a geostorm. Number 4, they downgraded it to a 2 or 3. So their confidence came down just a wee bit, but it doesn't mean it can't happen tonight, and maybe it will. But the only way you'll know is if you go outside and maybe turn on that iPhone camera in night mode to see those northern lights. Satellite radar showing it's pretty quiet in Florida, Texas, and the Midwest. But it's no surprise with a storm off the coast. They're getting more rain slamming into the Pacific Northwest. They're used to it. I would imagine places like Seattle, still rainy tonight. Portland, Oregon will get in on the act too, but there could even be possibly some wet snow in the Cascades out there. But that's going on out west. If you're in the military and you're curious what home looks like, wherever home may be, whether it's the Dakotas, maybe it's Missouri, it looks pretty dry and quiet across much of the south and southeast. Really where the activity continues to be is up toward upstate New York, around the Adirondacks. And this is my old stomping ground for 4 years, back when my oldest child, who's now a senior in college at UT, this is where she was born, in Rochester. So it's one of those things, you get these bands, and what's amazing about the dynamics is that you can get these bands coming in. If it's snow, it can be 1 to 3 inches an hour. I repeat, it could come down as 1 to 3 inches an hour in the dead of winter, or when Mother Nature is in that kind of mood. So yeah, that's not a misprint. They typically get about 100 inches of snow in Rochester per year. That's an average. So some years it's above, some years it's below, but right now they're getting some rain at this hour and maybe some snow. It looks like some snow is forming, looks like back toward just north of Binghamton and just maybe to the east. Really, it's Tug Hill Plateau and areas across some of the higher terrain not far from Watertown, where it might be raining at this time. All right, let's keep moving. I didn't mention fall color yet, but this is the seize the day, seize the leaves, because this is one of those situations now that we've reached arguably mid-November. I would say this is the time to check out anywhere, if you've got plans over the next couple of days to check out fall color. And if that's important to you, clearly it's pretty much past peak for Harrisonburg, Massanutten. I showed you those pictures from last week. This is what Massanutten looked like, minus the telestrator, of course. But this is the Blue Ridge Mountains out here, Allegheny over here on the other side. But this was a lot of fall color. But that was days ago. That was a couple weekends ago. So now we're back to square one, meaning we're still looking at this map, and over here we're talking about the fall color, where if you are wanting to check out some leaves, this would be a good time to do it. November rainfall for Norfolk is about 1.25 inches. We had obviously some snow yesterday. It was 0.2. But the way they're going to record that is just a trace of liquid. If you melted down the 0.2, they considered it a trace. It's just the way how they accounted for it at Norfolk International. Some had more, some had less than 0.2 inches of snow on Tuesday morning. By the way, dew points have come up a little bit. I remember earlier this week, it was like 11, 12, 13 dew point in Atlanta. Now they've come up to 45. And there were some teens and even around 10 or 11 for Beckley. They're at 27 now. So it is getting a little bit stickier in quotation marks, but it's still it's still very, very dry. And that'll change a little bit as we head towards Sunday. Saturday and Sunday have dew points in the 50s. So for this time of year, it's not like oppressive type of humidity, but it is a little more moisture to work with in terms of cloud cover, and in some cases a few spotty rain showers. All right, it's 8:08. We've done pizza. We've done Northern Lights. We've covered a little bit about the weekend outlook. It's time to talk about our current temperatures. And if you're on the call, we'd love to say hi to you. I know that this is one of those things where we're kind of flying by the seat of whatever you want to talk about. Meaning if you want to focus on temperatures, we can talk about temperatures. You want to focus on the hurricane season, fire away. I'll answer a question as I can. But right now in Moyock, it's 51, 57 in Yorktown, Kipta Peaks at 57, and our friends in Williamsburg currently at 56. So that's where we stand at this particular moment here at 8:09. Let's see here. Taj Brown has a follow-up. I do want to say hi to Taj. Not too many lights where I stay. Don't see none. See, it's kind of hard. And even if you pull out your smartphone camera, you might have a better chance of seeing them. That was my experience back in May of 2024. I got a note from Marilyn Bell. She says, congrats to all the winners. Thank you, Marilyn. You're very kind. And it was, in Taj's words, very aptly noted, it's pizza time. So maybe for those who won, it is time for some pizza. And if you haven't figured this out, you get $5 Pizzoli tonight. It's like a stromboli, it's like a calzone, and it's like having a pizza turned inside out, but it's delicious. And for $5, it's a real bargain, it's a steal. If you use the promo code WTKR David, that's my first name, but our call letters WTKR David, and you could get yourself, and that's a deal of the week, so that'll last through Saturday if you have a wild hair and want to order some, perhaps this Saturday or this weekend. Certainly take note, it runs till Saturday. Now, temperatures right now, 56 in Raleigh, it's 53 in Virginia Beach. Our friends in Knoxville, a little bit cooler tonight, they're at 50. Beckley's at 49, and we're in the low to mid 50s from Virginia Beach to Hatteras here at 8:10. Temperatures around the country have changed. I think this is noteworthy. Tallahassee last night was 37. 37 degrees at 8 o'clock at night. I know that the Florida orange grove growers, or whatever, the ones who grow the oranges, would have been a little bit concerned when you're in the 30s in Tallahassee, because Destin's not too far away from there. Jacksonville, all those communities were dealing with some really cold air last night. Now it's modified a bit, and so this little trough that's dipped down is beginning to relax, and it's beginning to go back up toward the purple areas, which would be up toward north of Nova Scotia and into Canada, it seems like at this time. Let me show you what this looks like in terms of the future temps, and then we'll show you the Climate Prediction Center expectations heading into Thanksgiving weekend, really. But November 19th, you can see we're kind of in that battleground where the cold air stays up toward New York State, and then we get a little bit of a warm-up on the 22nd of November. Now, if you remember, Thanksgiving this year is the 27th, and so the Climate Prediction Center making not pulling any punches here. This is a warm-up. There are bound to be some warmer air, will be some warmer air heading across for many of the locations around the country if you are traveling by car or by air, but the below normal temperatures are likely to prevail on the West Coast. And it's not like it's frigid, but compared to whatever normal is for them, like Los Angeles, maybe Vegas, maybe it's a cool stretch from the 20th through the 26th, where it's probably going to be a much warmer pattern heading for us down the road. Temperature trend on Sunday stands out to me as that 74-degree temperature. Yesterday, I had it at 72, but when I gathered how much wind that we were likely to transport, this is probably going to be in the low to mid 70s across the board. So you got wind, maybe a 20% chance of rain. Weekend's not all that bad, but I think Thursday and Friday might be better looking days. Mostly sunny with an occasional patch of clouds here or there, especially tomorrow morning. Now, Eastern Shore forecast. We're looking at Chincoteague at 57, Onancock 57, sliding southward to Exmoor 58, and Cape Charles at 59. OBX, we look at 60 for both Duck, Kill Devil Hills, and Nags Head, while we get up to about 59 tomorrow in Manio. And last but not least, Rodanthe, 60, and it looks like about 61 for Hatteras. 62 for Ocracoke. You're still looking at a mostly sunny day. I would say probably a few extra clouds will be noticeable when you wake up. I'd say anywhere from 6, 7, 8. By 9 o'clock in the morning, they should scour away, and I'll illustrate that with the Futurecast so that it makes a little more sense and puts it into focus. Storm Prediction Center looks like this. We do have some colors, but they're not on this side of the country. So if you have family out west, The isolated severe storm risk means limited in duration and or coverage and or intensity. And I'm looking out west, that's most of, well, not most of California, but a portion of California, just to the west of Chico and to the west of Redding. But if you pull back, there's really no other area in the lower 48 that has that expectation for isolated severe storms. It would only be that section of California till 8 o'clock tomorrow morning. But here, again, it's seeming like it goes down to Monterey. Right? It goes down to Monterey, maybe Carmel. Some of these areas north of Fresno could have some isolated severe storms Thursday, but nothing here on the East Coast. And last but not least, do you think there's any color here? I had to squint. Do you see any color here? Oh, it's there. It's there. It's LA. It's San Diego. It's San Diego, Los Angeles. It's Santa Barbara. And areas just south of San Luis Obispo, and really not Bakersfield. But some areas in LA could get some isolated severe storms on Friday. So I wanted to give you the bird's eye view, because severe weather when you travel can sometimes be a real deterrent, right? Sometimes you're like, I wish I had known about the possibility of severe weather. Now tonight it looks pretty good through 11 o'clock tonight. I'll come back on camera as we wrap things up. 11 o'clock tonight, if we have any northern lights, show us your pictures. You don't need me to tell you that. You will show us our pictures on social. I'm sure somebody will see it, and we'll love to see it and be able to share it on the air as well. 11 o'clock, though, tonight looks good. But when you wake up tomorrow morning, what happened? What happened? All of a sudden, it's gotten cloudy. So if you're going to do the northern lights, get up at 3 or 4 in the morning, it's not worth your effort. Just stay in bed, because your best chance of seeing the northern lights, I think, is 7 to 11 tonight, and we're already now at 8:15. But the clouds will come back at 7. I think by about 9 o'clock, they begin to scour out. So here's noon, and guess what? It's all cleared out, mostly. Still partly cloudy, maybe in parts of North Carolina. But by midday tomorrow, I mean, I did want to think that tomorrow it's mainly a mostly sunny day. But if you're up early and you wake up to some clouds, I want to tell you about those clouds, so then you don't go, that weather guy, he said it was going to be mostly sunny. What is this? Well, I'm telling you, you're going to get a few clouds in the morning, and then they will erode rather quickly. And then we go from 4 o'clock Thursday afternoon to about 11 o'clock tomorrow night. We got some scattered clouds. Friday, too, looks bright to start. And then maybe in the afternoon, that's 12 noon, winds are a little bit lighter, and you can see some opportunities there, maybe some scattered clouds by 5 o'clock. So really not that bad. Now, we started the stream with this expectation that we would have a warm front approaching. That's 7 a.m. Saturday. There's a little bit of rain there in West Virginia. Might make it up toward western Pennsylvania by 3:30 Saturday. But we're on the cool side of the front. We're on the east side. But once we go into Sunday, big difference. It might be snowing in Maine. Ooh, snow in Maine. That sounds fun. LL Bean country. They can cross country through it. But for us, it's warm and windy on Sunday morning and right through the rest of the afternoon. And any rain that we get should be pretty limited. That's why I wanted to give you, it's dry for now, but what to expect in the neighborhoods this weekend. That is it in a nutshell. By the way, it's 8:16, 45, 43, 42. Thursday morning, we'll have some early clouds. Looking for a low temperature of Franklin at 42. That sounds balmy. That sounds warm. Edenton at 46. It feels really good, I'm sure, at 48 in Duck, and Cape Charles at 46. If you get down to 45 tonight, Newport News, it wouldn't surprise me. Although Matthews, to be fair, could drop to 40, and about 44 in Gatesville. So my expectation tomorrow is, yes, this is closer to normal, but it's not as cold as it was this morning. And it doesn't have that snow element that we had on Tuesday morning. But we want to show you the afternoon forecast. Upper 50s for the peninsulas, about 60 for the south side, about 61 for North Carolina. That's where I expect to be. And you can find your favorite towns: 60 Duck, 62 Portsmouth, Williamsburg, Colonial Williamsburg, 63. So you're generally in the low 60s tomorrow. But Norfolk itself, I have around 60. So the difference being maybe a few degrees depending on how far inland you are from the ocean. But Moyock 63 and about 63 in Waverly. Here's your first warning. WTKR News 3 7-day forecast. 60 for both Thursday, Friday. A pretty good day, partly cloudy on Saturday, but it's warmer, it's windy. And again, I still think that winds on Sunday right now will start with sustained winds, probably 15 to 25, could be 15 to 30. It's going to be pretty gusty, but that should elevate our temperatures to about 74. And then we spend most of next week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, in the 50s for highs and lows in the 40s. Any questions? Now would be a great time, because you know what I was going to show normally, and I'll still show it. Normally I show happy shots, but I kind of led with happy shots with this live stream because I know you love to see the Northern Lights. So that was from Mary. Love that picture, Mary. Thank you again for sharing that with us. This was a big hit on WTKR Photographer's page. 11:40 last night. 11:45 was Christopher Eric Adams' picture from Mount Trashmore. Beautiful picture, and yes, it is that glorious. But if you have an iPhone, to be fair, some of these are really good cameras they're using here. But Amresh captured this one from Virginia Beach at 11:40 last night. So there you go, 60-60. Normal high would be typically this time of year about 63. So we're going to be well above that on Sunday when it's warmer and windy. Just a reminder, if you'd like to get a $5 Pozzoli, now's the time to do it. You can have now through Saturday the promo code WTKR David. If you haven't tried one, they're awesome. The Pizza for a Year certificate will be given out again next week, but I want to say thanks to our winners. We have a big winner tonight in Lynette Smith from Norfolk, and we had 10 big winners that are getting individual pizzas from Cecilia, Elizabeth, Inger, Kira, Lucia, did I say that right? Lucia, Marville, and then Michael, Parissa, Randy, and Stephen. A lot of names to throw out, but they're all getting some pizza, and it'll be coming to you soon. And if you need to know where do I get this free pizza, just pick your favorite location. There are 3 in Virginia Beach, 2 in Chesapeake now, and 1 in Norfolk. Just sign up using go to WTKR.com/Marcos. Once you register, you don't have to keep registering. Again, they're pulling it from a random list, and depending on how many people sign up, you have a better chance of winning. It's better than the Powerball. The odds are much better to win pizza, I would imagine, than the Powerball. Anyway, just remember, it doesn't matter if the weather is sunny or if it's serious. I'm just happy that you all are here, and I hope you stay safe. Take care of each other. Share some of your pizza if you win, because I know your friends and neighbors would love it. And just remember that every day is a gift. So make the most of it in your neighborhood. We'll see you here next week. Take care.